a former military head of state, a war veteran, a two-term civilian president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari has passed away in London after a prolonged illness, and Nigerian citizens are divided over a legacy fraught with both praise for his discipline and criticism of his perceived failures in governance, security, and economic reforms. In this video, we'll take a look at Buhari's background, his military career, and his leadership style, and the conflicting views surrounding his legacy. Meanwhile, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel. It's completely free. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to the channel. So Sunday, July 13th was a Black Sunday in Nigeria. News broke that former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has passed away in London at the age of 82. The announcement sent shockwaves through Nigeria and beyond. Condolences have been pouring in from world leaders, African heads of states, political allies, and even critics. Buhari's death has reignited conversations and divided opinions about his life and leadership in Nigeria. Muhammadu Buhari was born on December 17, 1942 in Dara, Katsina State in northern parts of Nigeria. He was the 23rd child of his father and came from a Fulani Muslim background. Buhari was orphaned at a young age, though he reportedly grew up in modest conditions. Then he joined the Nigerian military at the age of 19 to pursue a military career. Later on, he trained in the UK, India, and the United States of America. His military discipline and rigid moral outlook would define his style of leadership for the rest of his life. Buhari rose through the ranks of the Nigerian military and played significant roles in events like the Nigerian Civil War. In December 1983, Buhari led a military coup that overthrew the democratically elected government of Shehu Shagari, accusing it of widespread corruption and economic mismanagement. He thus became the Nigerian military head of state at the age of 41. Buhari's rule as a military head of state was marked by a firm, no-nonsense approach to governance. One of his most controversial initiatives was the War Against Indiscipline, a nationwide campaign that enforced strict codes of public behavior, including clean culture and punctuality. His administration also carried out mass arrests of politicians and government officials, many of whom were accused of corruption. Press freedom and civil liberties were heavily suppressed, with journalists detained and publications shut down. The most controversial aspect of his regime was the public execution of convicted drug traffickers, a move that sparked outrage both locally and internationally. Many Nigerians criticized his harsh policies, rigid approach, and intolerance for dissent. His government was toppled in 1985 by another military coup led by General Ibrahim Babangida. After years in political exile, Buhari returned to the national scene as a Democrat, having retired from military service. He contested Nigeria's presidential elections in 2003, 2007, and 2011 and lost in all three attempts. But in 2015, at the age of 72, Buhari made history by becoming the first Nigerian opposition candidate to defeat an incumbent president when he won against Goodluck Jonathan. His victory was celebrated as a turning point in Nigerian democracy and a beacon of hope for a nation weary of insecurity and corruption. But how that all panned out is a story for another day. He was re-elected in 2019, serving 2 consecutive terms until 2023. Buhari's 2 terms as a civilian president were marked by deep contradictions. His government made bold promises to fight corruption, boost the economy, and defeat Boko Haram insurgency. But the sanctioning of these cases left many Nigerians divided. His supporters argued that Muhammadu Buhari made significant strides in key areas during his presidency. He invested in infrastructure like roads, railways, and power projects to revitalize Nigeria's transportation and energy sectors, oversaw several high-profile arrests, and introduced digital reforms like the Treasury's single account to curb leakages in public finance, encouraged local food production, and reduced dependence on importation through initiatives like Anchor Borrowers Program, and also launched social initiatives such as Empower, which targeted youth unemployment and provided support to vulnerable populations across the country. But the criticism against Buhari's government far outweighed the praises. For many Nigerians, his administration did more harm than good, particularly in the areas of economy and national security. His tenure was plagued by high level of insecurity, with a rise in banditry, kidnappings, and terrorist attacks across several parts of the country. Economically, Nigeria experienced multiple recessions alongside rising inflation, soaring unemployment, and a drastic depreciation of the naira, sinking over 230 million of the population deeper into poverty. Buhari's leadership also drew accusations of ethnic and regional biases, with many alleging a consistent favoritism towards the North and a troubling silence on several sensitive national issues. His frequent medical trips to London were often unannounced and extended, and this raised questions about transparency and leadership presence. Furthermore, his government's disregard for human rights became evident in the brutal crackdowns on protests like INSAS and social media ban, which drew sharp criticism both at home and from international communities. After leaving office in 2023, Buhari retired to Daura, his own base in Katsina State, where he stayed largely away from political discussions. Earlier this year, there were reports that he had traveled to London for medical care. Then on Sunday, July 13, 2025, he was confirmed dead in a private hospital in London. Right now, Nigerians are divided over Buhari's legacy. Supporters mourn a disciplined patriot who tried to clean up a broken system, while critics remember him as a repressive leader who failed to unite the country and improve the lives of the masses. Some recall the old soldiers' frugality, integrity, and uprightness. Others remember the economic hardship, authoritarian tendencies, and regional biases. What are your views on Buhari's government? Which side of these divides do you belong? Let me know in the comments below. By the way, whether you're in support of him or against him, Muhammadu Buhari was no ordinary figure. He was a soldier, a coup leader, a statesman, and a two-time Nigerian president. His life spanned some of Nigeria's most turbulent and defining moments, and with his passing, another chapter in Nigeria's complex political history comes to a close. As Nigeria prepares for the state burial of the old soldier, one question comes to mind. How will history judge Muhammadu Buhari?